Tyrell Wheeler was 16 years old, and he was my baby boy, my second born child, and he was murdered at the age of 16 back in 2011. It was crazy. It was actually right here in the living room. He was about to get ready to get dressed to go, and he had to come downstairs to get his laundry out the basement. And I was having a Bible study with Sister Barbara, a Jehovah's Witness, and she was doing a Bible study, and when he had came past, she asked him, when's he gonna sit down and, learn about the truth and about the Bible and, the stuff that she was teaching me. And he made up some story like he was about to go to bed or go do something. So he made up something real fast, and she kind of giggled at him. And he just smiled like he always smiled and went downstairs in the basement, got his clothes, got showered. Then when he came back downstairs, he was different when he went outside, because that day somebody came by that was a friend of his, unannounced, and he's about to leave. But when he came back into the living room, it's his facial expression. I wish I knew, that something was wrong, or said, what's the matter, or questioned him, because it was different. I know he wouldn't allow anybody to come that day to interrupt my Bible study. So he didn't look like he was in trouble. He looked like he didn't even know that the person was coming. And I stopped and I said to my sister Barbara, tell him what you just taught me. And she taught him about Job, and how Job was tried by the devil with God, that he would turn against them. And he just stood there. He stood in the doorway in the living room, and he stood and stayed for like a half hour listening to everything that she was saying, which I felt he learned more that day in that minutes of time than I've ever taught him. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing, because the trials and tribulations is things that he was going through. He lost so many friends so young, to be going to funerals at 10. He was only 16. To bury like more than 35 people before 16 is really sad and tragic. And that's all here in Springfield, Massachusetts, the 413 that I love and live and will never go nowhere now, especially because he's at Oak Grove. So I'm never going to leave Springfield, because I'm too close to him, his memories. We all keep his memories alive, strong. Today's his birthday, February the 12th. And we usually celebrate by going to the Eagle around the corner, and I cook a lot. Have all the family and friends gather and get together. But today is the Super Bowl too, so we just going to go to my sister-in-law's house. Got a cake like we always do with his picture. And just remember him, love him, think about his memories, and keep his memories alive. He got 6 just regular nieces and nephews, because they're not great. That's his brother's kids, right? And they all know him and never met him but one. And that's Sierra. Sierra's 14. And the baby is the only boy, 5 girls and 1 boy. And they know him. And that's how I keep his memory alive. With my great nieces and nephews and all the kids, that's what it's for. When we have the gatherings in July and February for his birthday, because him and his brother's birthdays is actually 3 days apart in 7 years, the 9th and the 12th of February. So today's a special day. I'm honored to be here, to be having an interview with my nephew from love. I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm glad that all this is happening and people can talk about their loved ones, because they always try to talk about the negative about the black man, but they never talk about the positive. And one thing's for certain, Ty was loved all through Springfield, could go to any block, and a lot of that time that he was out here on any block, people didn't like it. They didn't like that if they represented a block and couldn't go to one block, how could he? It's because he had family throughout all the blocks, and I miss him. I miss him, and I love him, and I miss his friends too. And my nephews that are from my friends' kids that loved me since Ty passed away, that was pallbearers, I miss them. That hurts me a lot. Except for when they had the COVID, we couldn't get no hall or nothing like that. So we just had a little small gathering. But yep, every year since 2011. We be trying to find any hall that would take us after we couldn't get the Eagles. If we can't get it on that Saturday, we be have to go to other places, be mad. We done been to Moriarty's. We done been to Chicopee. But we always come back to the Eagle.
Every time.
Because that's right around the corner. I could just hopscotch, get the food out the oven and bring it on over. Yeah, I like to cook like that. Just gets my mind off of stuff that he used to like to eat. Yeah, it's a lot. Especially, with my mom and how hurt she was and how sad she was after he passed. And she just, what they call it, failure to thrive. It's not like she's suicidal, but she just had failure to thrive, to live. She missed him. I didn't even know he was going down there getting her fish fillets from McDonald's when she used to live down off of Main Street, Then when you hear all the stories, like even with my dad, that he was coming by after school and saying what's up to my dad, and he would act like he wasn't driving, park all the way down the street and around the corner. And we still got his car too. We still got that little coupe. It's funny that it's so many good memories. It's a lot of good memories. Even when he was bad, he was good, because that smile would just, I don't know, not make you mad at him. You be trying to be mad, but that smile. Then I look at all the sadness that he had in his heart, making T-shirts all the time and going to people's funerals, and being a boy, he don't want his mom holding him and hugging him. So I used to step back, and sometimes I wish I didn't. I wish I just stood by him a little bit closer or hit his shoulder a little more, like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. I don't care, Because, boys ain't supposed to cry, but you can cry. Men, boys, males, you can cry. It's nothing wrong with crying. It relieves a lot of pain sometimes and stress, It does. It does. I don't know how or why or where the tears is making you feel better, but it does.
It's a relief.
Yeah, it's a relief. Yeah, it's a relief. Oh, sports. I put that boy in every sport, every season to keep him out of trouble. He played baseball, football, basketball. The only thing, I don't think he played soccer. His brother did. But I put him in every season, every sport. And then football, oh my goodness. Boy was so good. My dad called him Hitman. Because he was so little, he had to prove his point, He could hit hard, and my dad named him Hitman. Wilshire, Acorn Street, Dunbar, Community Center, He had a lot of titles that the streets can't never take from him. He touched a lot of the coaches. The coaches supported me with helping me with him as a boy, Because it's hard to raise a boy, being a single parent, however way. But, definitely, the males in my community was strong. And they were my friends, so they automatically connected with my son, whatever sport he was in. And I never chastised them if they spoke on it, to say something to him or punished them. But if you let him play, and I told you he got in trouble, and you let him play to win a game, but then you didn't let him play for the championship game, oh no, he's suiting up. He going to play too. Because wrong is wrong and right is right. Shut up sometimes. Let me speak to the adult before you. You get in trouble in school. They call me by the time I hit work at Bay State ER. They already on the phone. Listen to this. I'm at a whole job that I am not losing. Put them in the office. I'll pick them up when I get out of work. Or I have his grandparents or somebody get him. I'm not coming back. I just dropped him off. He can't be that bad. Y'all got to get it together. I done had the experience with Ty, even was in school, where I had to be like, Ty, I've told you this a million times. Give me a chance to defend you so you don't look like you wasn't raised with some common sense, morals, and values, like you don't know better. You make me look bad when you go out of pocket. But when he is sincere, like looking at me like, Mom, I'm telling you, I know my son. So one meeting, he's like giving me that look and letting me know like, yo, it wasn't, I didn't do nothing. It's this teacher. He constantly is on me, constantly bothering me. So while we're in the meeting with the teacher, the principal, the counselor, you know, all these people, I could see that the guy is aggressive because he keeps talking to Ty. Like, you know, instead of waiting and letting the principal finish, he keeps wanting to say something specifically to Ty. So he says to him, and you're like that because your mother's like a pit bull. And Ty jumped up and said, what you call my mother? You trying to say my mom's a... And I said, son, you got to sit down sometimes because, yeah, pit bulls do bite. And they do wear skirts. It's strong. Female dogs, they get real protective over their young. But what you won't do is growl and bark before I get a chance to, because he's really an adult, and this is going to be an adult conversation. But once the principal and everybody's seen that I was just so serious with him when I didn't say shut the up, but he did. So that me and you, partner, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a progress weekly thing. We're not only you going to monitor how he's behaving, but we're going to monitor how you behave with him. On the principal's note, because he said it can go that way, because it keeps saying like nitpicking. You can't keep nitpicking with a kid and you're the adult professionally trained to handle these kids, but you're handling kids that you don't really know, kids of color. You know, that's why I'm so proud to see more blacks and Hispanic teachers, because the way they think and the way we think is completely different, and it is racial. It's not to be, you know, you can't sugarcoat it. You know, some white people just don't understand our kids. But at the same time, our kids got to learn how to shut up. Because like now, 2023, the kids, wicked, disrespectful, you can't even chastise a child because their parents coming at you. You're going to have to argue or fight with the kid that you're trying to tell the parent, like, you know, your son and daughter, or your daughter and daughter's beef, and I know, you know, this don't have to go that far. It's not like that. The morals, the values change. The respect, the matter of love and respect is gone. And once that's gone, it's going to be what? The end of times? Yeah, we've been living in the end of times forever. But people is recognizing more and more the love is absent. The respect is absent. You know, people that got money, they got power, they got the voice, like the rappers and all that, they should be trying to be more subjective of what they say and do. Because you can't sing these songs and think that the kids ain't trying to live like that. Gangsterfying everything and killing is like the thing to do, like it's so cool. It's not. It's so corny. They know that money sells. And if they can say something that's going to make them buy it, they're going to just do it. So that's where they lose their morals. You know, the value of life is way greater than what they take in. Oh, definitely poorly. From beginning to end. When we were given information even to the detective that was supposed to be helping us, he was very cold shoulder-ish, very negative. Like, if you know how they had the text a tip. That year I found out that when you text a tip, it's supposed to be anonymous, right? So that you could give any kind of leads, any kind of information. And people were getting called back, questioned. So now you're uncomfortable to really say what you said. You know, it's supposed to be anonymous so that it doesn't have to come back to you. You know, so I learned that, and I learned that they never gonna try to get cameras from people's houses, or this is way before doorbell cameras, okay? But people had video cameras at their house, and you can tell whose houses had them. why in Forest Park area nobody in Forest Park owns cameras because they don't own houses. No, that's a lie. Is that y'all not going to get them where people won't have to go and testify and put their name in court or be threatened to be murdered for testifying against something they saw. You could just make it just so much easier. So to me, my big thing from that time all till now, cameras. I found out that when I kept saying about the shot spotters not having cameras, that we are supposed to have been funded in a certain kind of way because of our crime rate was so high, even then, in 2011, that the shot spotters in different big cities that have high murder have cameras because they can't so-called put cameras on the poles because they're owned by Eversource. But you're getting stipends and grants to solve and help murder crime, so why don't you put that funding towards something that says, we're tired of this crime in the city. We're going to start, since people are not talking, since you're making people feel like they're not doing the best that they can for their community, why ain't the city, government, state doing the best that they can to make people feel safer by just putting the cameras on the tall poles that can't nobody knock down and have it where it's like a four-way rotation? Because if you got a car going down State Street, Main Street, whatever street in Forest Park, a certain speed, they running from something. Or somebody running down the street, they running because they just did something, right? And you go to those houses and you ask for whoever wants to be anonymous and let them really be anonymous. You're not going to put their name in the newspaper after, thanks to Sam Adams for giving us the feedback of the camera at such and such. You don't do that. You make people be able to testify, to come to court, to, feel safe about it. Or you just keep going to the cameras and solve these murders that are all so unsolved. Because Ty's murder case was completely different than just, we went to court. We had a whole person that we feel like did it. But we not knowing that he's working with the government. So not fair, because to me, I just felt like, okay, once y'all found out that he was even accused of this, y'all should have cut him off. I just feel like that's a smack in my face because Ty was 16. This man was 26. Now he done did dirt and done can't go back to his land that he came from. So he is an FBI informant. Okay, but what about my baby? Because you can't change his age. And then everything that happened, it just happened just so fast. It was like a roller coaster ride. They had Ty on the news. That's against the law. Y'all didn't even get a picture of him handsome, young, in football, basketball, none. But then when the white boy got killed over here on Bay Street, oh, y'all got the best picture? Y'all didn't get the picture when he was in Facebook with the gang signs with everybody? Like, it's not fair. Like, don't throw dirt on my son before we even do at Oak Grove. It's not going to happen. It's disrespectful. And there was all races that fought for my son. White, Puerto Rican, black, of all color, of all criteria, of all levels. Principals, to the coaches, to even my landlord that was a cop in a different state at that time. A city, rather. He wasn't a Springfield cop. Had a whole disagreement. Like, I know that young man. Anytime I was out in my yard shoveling or doing, he always asked, I need help. Every time I seen that young man, he spoke. So I guess the white cops were saying some shady mess, and he elaborated, like, I know that young man, like, you shouldn't speak on him like that because you don't even know him or his mother, her struggles or nothing else. Like, I appreciated that when he told me. And we was outside where it got the apple tree, and he was crying. For my landlord at that time to be a white man that was a cop, I think in West Springfield somewhere, Chicopee somewhere, to say that, to let me know, like, and then for his principal at the time, Mr. Therian was the principal. That was my dude. He spoke at Ty's funeral for me too. But just to say how people who have kids, who have, and my landlord, he didn't have no kids. But my principal, Ty's principal, he had kids. And he was offended by the fact that they put Ty on the news and called me and Tiger. We didn't even see the news. He told us to turn on the TV that they have just put Ty's juvie picture on the news. He said, and I know it's a juvie picture because he looks like he's locked up. Where they can't, that's against the law. Period. It's against the law. And the person who gave it was the chief of police or commander, whatever title he was at that time. He gave the news that picture. So when you got it from juvie, you didn't realize, oh shoot, I can't do that. No. Then y'all put him beside the person that we was accusing of killing him, as if they just committed a crime together. What? You put it in the newspaper as such? You got it online as such? You got the man and Ty side by side? It was a lot. It made me so angry that I was like, no, this can't be. Whatever program I could find that's gonna be like, yo, listen, we gonna help you. Moms Against Violence, somebody. I needed help. I was going to people that my father grew up with. Like, something got to give. This can't just keep this ain't fair. Like, even to get his phone and stuff open to help the case because he had the phone in the car type of thing. I get his evidence. But how CSI and all these places that's been doing movies and shows, how their technology is so up to date and ours ain't? What, just in our city? And why y'all getting so much money for crime, but y'all not using it towards these kind of things that, you good on computers, nephew. You could probably be like, yo, listen, I can open that phone. I can get the information. There's people that can do these things. So what is it? You just don't want to? Not? Because I know you can. You can't say you can't. Stuff like that bothered me. Or if I gave the detective information, he would argue with me. Who told you that? How do you know that? Who said that? Where'd you get that information? What difference does it make? Just take it as I said it. Felicia Willard. I don't give a at this time, y'all done hurt my son and Ty. He didn't die right away. So, he suffered. The fact that he fought for his life in the car with a grown man. And he didn't have a weapon, but they did. That means he was scared. That means he knows that, bodily harm is coming his way. And then to have, got shot in a way that, I guess Ty represents Sycamore and my son Cyrell represents the Ave. So the Ave is who did it because when Ty, I guess, got shot, he put his hand up and it injured his hand. And I guess Sycamore does that. Never knew that. That the Moore does, you know what I'm saying? So what you saying now? Cyrell didn't get to come to the services because they try to say in Ludlow that he represented the Ave and Ty represented Sycamore. Are you kidding me? I know for a fact I raised my son just like my father raised me with the title. Everywhere you go, your name is who you are and what you will carry with you. Okay? You ain't going to be Bristol, Eastern Ave, Sycamore, Mapledale, Maynard. That's not your name. Your name is your family name. Your first and your last name. Every time, my dad say, every time you go out that door, that's what you carry with you. Represent that as well as you would as representing me. Respect that name. Represent your name well. Carry your name well. Don't you say my son can't come because he represented one block. And who said that could be? Who knew? Not me. I didn't know as a mother that I was going to fight to get my other son that don't even do criminal crime. He wasn't in there for murder, shooting, gun charge, none of that type of stuff. Petty stuff that he was in. But God loves me. Because so wasn't the rest of my nephews at that time with Ty's murder, which, if anything happened, they couldn't blame it on my family. Because for some odd reason, They was all in Ludlow. From my son to my nephews. People that would have been running the streets heated, I know for a fact. And I was thankful. No lie, I was thankful. Because I could rest. I wouldn't have to be like wondering who gonna get it next, or what's gonna happen, or who's gonna say that they doing this for, you know? It was crazy. It was crazy. It made me bitter. Bitter. To where I got to the point where I'm like, I'm speaking to the highest point of where. I was blessed when I finally found out about that Washington trip that I had took with the Sandy Hook, right? No disrespect. Yeah, the school that got shot up. The kids did a group where they had people coming from all cities and states for murder, for gun violence, gun control, you know? And it was uplifting because they was mad young. And their parents did this on their behalf of the survivors. And I tell you, when we got up there from Springfield and met all these different people from New York, from all over the world, of all colors, of all races, of school shootings, suicides, just all kinds of stuff. A kid went next door to his friend's house, got the gun that his father left on the table that wasn't locked, it wasn't in a safe, and he was trying to make it where laws can be put in place where you get in trouble for that, you know, because that boy's never gonna go back next door home, and his friend is the killer, and he's what, 6, 7, 8, you know, all these young ages. It's on the parent, you know, or like for people that kept getting guns stolen and then purchase them like the next month, or people that had like needed a red flag not to be able to buy it or purchase a gun because they have like mental issues and stuff like that. These kids was making up these laws. It was good. It was powerful. And I was so happy to be a part of that. But it was like years after Ty passed away before I even got that connection. We wasn't getting it from here. The support that you should get and the unity, I'm gonna say that. It's too many different groups here, you know? So how are we gonna help each other if we all trying to be the head in charge? It's not helping people unite. So with that being said, that made me mad that they wouldn't do cameras or try to really listen to any information or take the anonymous tips and just, you know, go with it. It was a lot of pressure or a lot of interrogating the family members that was given the help in hand, you know. Yeah, that's still sad. They could have investigated. They could have went to people's houses, asked that they could use their cameras. They could have you know, went in the neighborhood of the path that he so-called drove around, or went whatever streets that he did go to see if any of the houses had a camera, to ask them like, can we get your video, you know, did you see anything, or can we see if we see anything? Like, yeah, that it, camera. Because people that was coming for to be witnesses, the way they shut them down, and the way I got an appointed lawyer that we wanted to fire, couldn't fire. I wish I had money. I wish I had already had a lawyer or something, so that I wouldn't had took the DA's lawyer that they appointed to me. Because once my sister and the family started seeing the lawyer talking to the lawyer that was fighting for the person that we said was the killer, it just made us really see like we about to lose. And they like, oh, you know, they know each other. I say, yeah, but there's a place and a time to communicate with one another, especially if y'all like, they won't let me bring his picture to let the jury see that he was a child. Why? Why everything that I'm asking of, where I done seen it on different shows, where the person's family got to say their, you know, how they felt or what they thought. Why? Why the witnesses are being interrogated and by our lawyer? in a way that it's like, how can you say that Ty said that when he's dead? Like, that's a third person. Like, you can't take what she just told you. Because when Ty was talking to her, he was alive. But now that he's dead, it's like a third person. We looking like, what? Ain't that our lawyer? How he make our witness be like looking crazy up there? They gotta stop. They gotta really realize it's not just about color. You know, it's about the value of life and respect and having morals. You know, and then you can't do one thing for one race and then not for the other. You know, and you know that ain't gonna happen no time. Like even what I was telling you about the organs and stuff. Like, that's not no little stuff. And then when I ever seen that young boy that got rolled in that tarp at the gym, and then they went in the body and it was filled with, I said to my family, I said, I told y'all I think that that's what they did with Ty, because they were so adamant on keeping his organs warm that they wasn't even paying attention that I was a medical assistant in the ER at that time for like, what, 12 or something years. I didn't have to come in as the mother of a victim to tell y'all when he's in pediatrics that he's a child. He's in PICU. He's not in ICU. That should tell you right there that he's a pediatric child. Where the nurses that were women, the men, they were helpful, kind, compassionate, you know, letting us know. Like, at one point when he first got shot, I know he could hear us. I don't care what nobody say. Because they were talking about me around him, cleaning them or doing whatever in the room. And the male nurse came and got me because he said he was crying. And when we came in, he was crying. So I know he could hear. So I just always felt like, oh, that pisses me off, you know, that these were people that worked at the same company that I worked for, yet they worked with kids, and soon as it's a black or a Spanish kid that got shot, it's like, you know, he lived by the gun, you died by, you know, you saying slick stuff and like not even paying attention to who you around. And then when we smack the taste out your mouth, we gonna be the ones that get quick to go to jail, get arrested. Or like when I went outside to go get a cigarette and they won't buzz me back in. But at that time that I worked at the ER, I gotta big up all the people that helped me, like Johnson Toro, Ann Maynard, Linda Level. I hope they still there because I loved them. They were all white people. And when they came upstairs, they regulated. They let the nurses know, like, okay, we taking over from it. Oh, y'all didn't wash him up? Y'all didn't change his bloody Johnny? Y'all didn't change his gauze where you could smell it? Oh, da-da-da. Like, checking them. Oh, you can't work with the parent. Don't want you, no. Yeah, we gotta not have her on this shift or send her to D-Wing. You know, yeah. You ain't know. I didn't even know I had that power, you know. But I'm just saying, it was really touching to have them come as a force to be reckoned with, to let them know, like, you gotta treat them right. You can't assume, oh, that's a bad little boy, that's why he got shot. Because ain't he the victim at the end of the day? Like, you don't, you know, ICU or PICU, adult or child. You know, 16 to me, child. If you can't have certain things, pictures and stuff, it's against the law, then to me, when he died, he was a child. To me, forever 16. Because he's resting in peace. Sleep. That's what I think. I feel. I believe that. He's resting in peace. I think that's why it's called Rest in Peace. And I believe that. When Ty was in trouble, I didn't sleep. I tossed and turned. Every time the phone rang at a certain hour of the night, it was always scary, overwhelming, you know. Then I got grandkids now, but they're not on the street. They're young, from 16 to 1.5, so I'm good right now. But then I got Cyril, he's 34. And I got my nieces, my nephews, and right now they're killing girls. Girls is killing girls. Guys is killing girls, like shooting them by accident. Yeah, what? Because you ain't no target person where you can just know who you... It makes me so mad because it's just like, God's seeing everything. So don't think you hiding from facts, because karma is what it is. And get your stuff right, because you could even change and be like, say if the person knew that it was a mistake or something. Say they was, it didn't. To be humble enough to come to somebody and be like, you know what? I'm sorry. You don't know how much that could make a person be like, okay, I feel better, I forgive you, and just to move on. But when you got that where you gotta fight the person to win the case and then lose the case, and then the person's being hidden, and it makes you bitter, bitter, bitter. But one thing I believe that I said that I let God handle that. Pray on it even. You don't know what can happen out your prayers. But if you believe, you better know He gonna take care of it. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, you might not understand the reason. Well, then pray on it so that you can understand, so that you can be humble, so that you can be remorseful enough to be like, okay, He got that. It might have happened 10 years, 20 years later, but he made sure that happened. And the things that they allowed this person to do. How are you writing to me from jail? And they sent it to me. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. Then y'all thought I was stupid enough to just give y'all the letter. I gave them the copies of the letter. That's evidence, right? Forever I will have that. But to even speak to me like, oh, you carrying a Bible around? I know, I heard. Because I also heard that people been trying to get at you. And I told them, yo, you'll get caught. You heard what he is, right? You better watch what you do, because he might got a camera on you. Shake that chain. You go do something to him to pay back. Don't do it. For me, don't do it. Letting you know. Don't do it. And please, don't take it out on nobody else. If anybody knows me, I tell you this. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That means just what it is. You shoot me, I should come for you. My brother should come for you. Not for your brother, your uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's really bogus. But that's what we're doing. As a race, it's genocide. It's genocide. Like, how you can't get your mind right? You mad, you mourning, you grieving. Man, I wish that war would stop. Because I'm tired of having my friends burying their kids that I know, and I'm sorry for their loss. I would say if he could hear me, which I know that he can't to me, I know he's resting in peace, but anything that I would say to let my loved ones know is that I pray to make it to see them again. That when they're resurrected, I believe that they're asleep, they're resting in peace, and that there's a day, a judgment day from God, and that He's going to resurrect them. And I pray that when they're resurrected, that I'm there to see them and to be able to live on paradise on earth.